The other day I heard someone say that doubt your doubt and faith your faith, while what we do is faith our doubts and doubt our faiths. Because that is when I realized that yes, there's truth and there is lie. There's faith and there is doubt. While one of them is real, the other one is just noise. One of them builds us while the other one just destroys. One of them leads us while the other one just leaves us begging for approval, proof and safety. You know what the worst part is? Majority of people believe in the lies more than the truth. They find the lies more comforting than the truth. They find their doubts more comforting than their faiths. They tend to believe in their doubts more than their truths. But there's a reason. If suppose I say that I want to make a more impactful image of me, if I say that I want to make an impact on people more, then I have to work hard for that. Yes, when my doubt is telling me that I can't do that, there is a disappointment. But then there is also this comfort that if I would have known that I can be that much impactful, if I would have known that I can do that, then I would have had to work hard for a particular time period or do some other works that would have drained me, but I would have reached there. But I am doubting myself now that I'm thinking that that might not be possible. I might not be able to do that. Then there is this comfort, there is this assurance telling us that now I don't have to work that hard. So I can just sit and relax. After this entire circle, it's coming back to one particular position. That is a fear of going out of our comfort zone that is not letting us believe in our faith. That is not letting us trust our faith. But this is not how one should choose to live. This is not at all a way of living. This is not a lifestyle that one should choose to live. And if you're getting this video, it's because probably you don't choose to live this way either. You don't choose to live this way. You don't choose to live in a way that is draining you, that is telling you that you can't do that. You don't choose to live in that way, and thus you're watching this. Maybe you got this by coincidence because someday or the other you might have searched for something like this, or someday or the other you might have thought about something like this, and the phone or the device caught your frequency and is sharing you this video. It is all because of you. You wanted it. And that is because you don't choose to live this way. See, I'm not making this video to motivate anyone or to do anything like that. In fact, I'll be honest. More than motivating others or doing anything, making these videos help me the most. Whenever I'm depressed, whenever I'm doubting my abilities, I just watch my videos and I realize that yes, I myself said that, then how can I behave like this? When I suddenly remember that I said this, that is when I realized that what I said was the truth and I'm not following it myself. So then I immediately come back into the line, not because I'm forced to because I said that, but because I believe what I said. So it helps me the most. Thus I make these videos. These videos help me remember who I already am. Because see, you are achieving something or you want to be something, that is only because you are that. Somewhere within you that is already there. So you don't have to give something off to achieve that. You don't have to achieve that in fact at all. You just have to remember and return to it. And these videos help me do that. So that is when I think that if it can help me, why can't it help you? So thus I make it. It helps me regain my faith and silence my doubt out. Thus I make it. It's the same thing. There is faith and there is doubt, but both of them lie in the future. And it depends on you on what you choose. Now a very important question appears, that is, what is faith? Faith is not some emotion. It is not a belief that you have. Nor is faith just a wish. Faith is that knowing, that assurance. It is something that doesn't demand you to follow it. In fact, it doesn't demand at all. It doesn't ask you to follow it. It is something that assures you that yes, something is waiting for you. What you want is waiting for you out there. That is faith. For example, I am making videos right now. I am writing, I am making videos. I also have a plan for the future. And now I am doing all of these things, but I have no idea about where it will take me and when it will take me. I have a dream. I have no idea if that dream will ever come true, or if it does, then when and how. I have no idea about anything at all. And if it was me from a few months back, I would have panicked. I would have been so depressed, thinking about that I can't figure out anything. And I would have been so stressed that I can't figure out anything. I have no idea about what lies ahead, and I would have freaked out. I would have freaked out because I would have believed that whatever lies ahead is painful and that only it's me who can change it. Only it's me, that if I know what lies ahead, if I have a plan, the life will follow that plan, and then everything will go according to that plan. But that was one of the biggest misconceptions I ever had. Life never follows a plan. It never ever follows a plan, no matter how much you wanted to follow a plan. From this age to this age, I'll do this. From this time to this time, I'll do this. After that, I'll do this. After that, I'll do this. It never goes that way. And this is not something dramatic or cinematical telling you that life is always changing. Yes, life is always changing. The thing here is that you never know if life will follow your plan. Mostly, life never follows a plan, because whatever plan life has is far better than what you have. So trust it. So I won't give that typical motivation without any reasoning. So I will give you another example. That is, right now, I told you that I would have freaked out a few months back. But now, right now, I am not freaking out. Yes, am I not scared? Yes, I am scared. Don't I fear what lies ahead? I do. But not as much as I would have feared whatever lied ahead few months back. And that is because I don't know how, when and why. But there is this certain assurance within me. There is this certain assurance within me telling me that yes, you don't know what lies ahead. Yes, you don't even know if this dream that you crave for, that you need to have, that you need to come true, will ever come true or not, or if it does, when and how. I know that I don't know any of it, but there's a subtle assurance telling me that yes, although you don't know if any of it will come true, whatever will happen will be the best for you, because whatever happens is already written. And I'm not saying this based on any destiny, reels and all that. No, it's very true. You know, in my very first video, I said something. That is, the moment I start believing that I am just a pen and my life is the story, and the writer is the universe, the God, or whatever you believe in. For me, I don't believe in idol worships, I don't believe in idol gods. I believe that there's a particular light, there's a particular shapeless frequency, which we call Brahma, and I am that. There is nothing beyond that. I'm not this body, I'm that. I just took refuge in the body. When I believe that, and when I believe that my body is just a pen, that is the moment when all of these stresses and everything just move away automatically. It just goes away, because that is faith. That is this assurance telling you that everything is going to be just better than what you think. Even though if it doesn't go according to my plan, even if everything is messed up, I will be happy because I know that is what was meant to happen. And that is the best that could have happened to me. That is what was about to happen. That is what was written, and I will happily accept it, because I read somewhere that it is our souls, that which I told you, that shapeless, formless consciousness, that is me, which we also call Shiva. Shiva is the shapeless, formless consciousness. We are that, and that is the only God in the outer world. God doesn't mean those, huge hairs, 4 hands, no. It is just a shapeless, formless consciousness. The meaning of the term Shiva is shapeless, formless consciousness, and I am that. So when I believe that, I realized that I read in a book that it is us, our soul, the shapeless, formless consciousness, which has chosen what will happen at what point of our life. So if something messes up, I am glad, because that was meant to happen. That is what I needed. Maybe I wanted something else, but I will only get what I need. So that is faith. I am having faith in the fact that everything is written. I am having faith that I need. So that is faith. I am having faith in the fact that everything is written. I am having faith, thus I am assured. Faith is not a belief. Faith is not an emotion. It is not any wish. It is an assurance telling you that yes, everything is going to be better than what you think it is going to be. Faith is not something that you find. You can't find faith in the outer world. People say, I found faith in this, I found faith in that. You don't find faith. Faith is already within you. It is something that already lies within us. You just remember it. That is when you realize that faith was within you. Someone said, I visited this place and that is where I realized that what faith is. That is where I found faith. Or people say that I saw this act of kindness, or I saw someone do this and that is when I found faith. Faith cannot be found. Faith is already within you. That was a point where you suddenly remembered the faith. Faith is that. Faith already remains within you. It never goes out. In fact, faith is trapped within you. Sometimes it just silences when you let your doubt scream. It just silences, but it is still speaking. Its voice is just more softer now. You just can't hear it as much as you could because you're letting your doubt scream. You don't need any signs to believe in faith, or you don't need any signs to do anything at all. No sign is ever needed. The fact that you're breathing, the fact that you're listening, the fact that you're trying to understand something, the fact that you're trying to understand this because you want yourself to feel it. You want yourself to feel that assurance. You want yourself to know that assurance, to know that faith. That is faith. You don't need any signs. You don't need anything at all. That is faith. This is faith. There is another question appearing. That is, how to faith your faith. Because at the beginning I said, faith your faith and doubt your doubt is what should be done. So how to faith your faith? See, you don't learn how to faith. Faith is not something that you can learn or that you can find. You don't learn how to faith. You just stop doing what's killing that faith. You just stop doing what's killing your clarity of that faith. That is it. You stop trying to convince your doubts that this is the truth and you cannot attack the truth. You stop trying to convince your doubts. You stop trying to tell your doubts anything at all. And you stop asking your doubts for permission. Most importantly, you stop expecting faith to be consistent and easy. Faith is not easy, but it is not very tough either. Because before entering into faith, before remembering faith, we think it's very, very difficult. But once we enter in it, we suddenly start thinking it's very, very easy. Until the moment that faith starts to fade away again because your doubt is rising. So faith is not very difficult, it is not very easy. It is just there. And it is okay for it to disappear sometimes, it is okay for it to appear sometimes. Just know the fact that it can never lose. You can never lose faith because faith is trapped within the body. Faith is trapped within you. No one is very consistent, never ever, nothing is consistent. Faith might disappear sometimes, but it's only because it's okay for faith to disappear. Nothing is ever consistent, nothing in the world. No one is ever consistent. Faith is trapped within you, yes, it is always there within you, yes, but sometimes it just forgets to show up. And that is because you are tired of pulling faith out every time. So it's okay for faith to disappear. It doesn't mean that faith always has to be there, or doubt can never come in your head at all, or it is a great sin for doubt to appear in your mind, or it is a great sin for faith to disappear. No, it's not. Faith is perfectly normal for faith to disappear, and it's perfectly normal for doubt to appear again and again. And in fact, that is what should be happening. Faith is all about knowing, trusting and believing that yes, you were meant to feel stuck, but you were never meant to be okay with staying stuck. And it's a very true statement. You are meant to be stuck. Being stuck is not something bad. Letting your doubts rise up here again and again is not something bad. It's perfectly normal, and that is what should be happening. But being okay with being stuck and being okay with letting your doubts win over your faith is the worst thing. That is exactly what we are trying not to do. People are waiting that I'll wait for my faith to appear, I'll wait for my doubt to disappear, then I'll move forward. For me, making these videos, I used to think that first let me have some more faith in myself, first let my doubts disappear, then I'll start making videos, until I realized that if you wait for faith to appear and doubt to disappear, you will be waiting forever. No matter how much you try, you can never have enough faith and never have enough less doubts. So it is always there and it will always be there. Now it depends on you. You just have to make the first move. Like for me, as I was telling you about assurance, about that feeling of assurance within me, that is because I never knew what lied ahead in my way. But always when I just took the first step, the way automatically appears. It always automatically appears. Until we don't take the first step, how will you know? At least take the first step, try it out, and then you can see that the way is so clear. You were just standing too far to know it. Now that you took the first step, you can move ahead. You know, the other day I saw this reel where a girl was just standing there and suddenly a ladder appeared in front of her. After 2 steps of the ladder, she couldn't see any steps further. So she started thinking, should I do this? Let my doubts move out first. So I was very angry actually at that point of time looking at the girl, because just take a step. So I was thinking like that. So then the girl suddenly took the first step and the second step, and after that no more steps were there, and suddenly the third one appeared. She stepped on the third one, the fourth one appeared. He stepped on the fourth one, the fifth one appeared. So you just have to take the very first step. All the other things will fall into place when everything sees you trying to be that. Universe or God or whatever you believe in that shapeless, formless consciousness, when that thing sees you taking the first move or trying to take the first move, it will automatically give you the next step, even if you can't see anything right now. Stop needing certainty before you walk ahead. Walk with a voice that knows, not with a voice that doubts. But I will also say it's not wrong to walk with a voice that doubts, but it's wrong to be okay with walking with a voice that doubts. So now another question appears right now, that is, how do I doubt my doubt? Because then again, referring to the quote, doubt your doubts and faith your faith. See, doubts cannot be stopped by fighting. You can't fight your doubt and you can stop it. No matter how much you fight with your doubts, you can never stop it. If a doubt comes in my mind and I tell it, don't come in my mind, don't come in my mind, it will come in my mind more. Not just doubts, any thought at all. In my past few videos, I gave this example, that is, if I tell you to not think of a dancing monkey, your mind will immediately picture a dancing monkey. So if you tell your mind to not think of something, it will immediately picture it. So no matter how much you fight with your doubts or your thoughts or anything at all, it will always appear in your mind more and more because you're asking it not to. Because the mind doesn't understand negative terms. Negative terms such as no, not, or don't. There's no point in fighting your doubts. You just have to stop obeying your doubts. Your doubts will not stop appearing immediately. Eventually, the more you don't obey your doubts, it will fade away. Just like I told you, there are people who find comfort in doubt. Most of the time they're fooled, because sometimes doubts appear as wisdom trying to protect you. But in real life, your doubt is nothing other than just patterns. Patterns telling you that you cannot do that, you are not this, you never will be able to achieve it. Are you sure you can do that? These are just patterns of question. These are not the truth. And whenever doubt disguises itself as wisdom trying to protect you, just shut it up. Because wisdom always tells you to do the right thing. Now, if you are passionate about something, if you want to do something and there's a doubt in your mind, this so-called wisdom in your mind telling you that, are you sure you can do that? I don't think we can do that. That is your doubt. That is how you recognize it immediately. Any negative terms, that is your doubt. The only way to doubt your doubt is to starve it. You want to doubt your doubt? Then starve your doubt. So there are 4 ways to starve your doubt. 4 things to do to starve your doubt so that your doubt cannot take over you or you don't obey your doubts. First one is, obviously I told you, don't argue with your doubts. Doubts show up in your mind, okay, let them pass. They are not you. Fighting your doubt is you giving your energy to the doubt. Just trying to shut your doubt up means you believe that the doubt has power. And the most important one is trying to convince your doubt or trying to convince yourself that the doubt is not true is you already believing that the doubt is the truth. The doubt is the reality. Number 2 is don't always try to feel safe first. We feed doubt mostly because we are trying to feel safe first. We are waiting to feel safe before acting up. So, to feel more safe before acting, we sit down and we continuously fight the doubt. We are fighting the doubt, telling it, no, you're not true, no, that is not true, I can do that. We are continuously doing that. We are sitting and arguing with the doubt, trying to feel safe first before acting up. But you know what the truth is? No matter how safe you are, you will never ever feel safe enough or prepared enough to start acting upon what you want to act upon. So the only way to stop feeding your doubt is by acting up. The moment you act up, that's the end. If your doubt tells you you can't speak, or you can't speak fluently, or you can't speak properly, that is the moment you don't say anything. Don't say anything at all, but just go ahead and speak. The end. Don't do anything at all, just go ahead and speak. If your doubt tells you that you can't be more impactful on people, do nothing. Just immediately start working on how to be more impactful. Or if your doubt tells you that you can never reach this level, do nothing. Just immediately start working on reaching that level. Shut the doubt up the very moment it starts to peak. Just shut it up. That's the end. Just start acting up. Don't say anything. Don't tell that I will prove myself. Don't tell your doubts that yes, I can do that. Don't tell it anything at all. Just let it speak. Number 3 is starve your doubt by shifting attention. The moment your doubt starts to say things like you can't do that, or moment your doubt appears or starts speaking, immediately shift your attention into just what I said. Immediately get into action, immediately get into knowing, immediately trying to remember that feeling of assurance. Immediately start trying to feel that. Sit down, close your eyes and start trying to feel that assurance within you. Feeling that everything is going to be the best. Immediately shift your attention and that will starve your doubt. 4 and the main point is that don't heal your doubt, just don't obey it. You don't have to heal your doubts or you don't have to try to understand why your doubts are happening. Healing will happen as a result of you choosing faith repeatedly. You don't have to heal your doubts or do anything at all. Now see, ignoring doesn't mean that you pretend that the doubt is not there. Ignoring means you stop obeying what the doubt is trying to tell you. You stop obeying the doubt. That is the end. It means nothing else. And that's the only way you can starve doubt, by taking away what it feeds on. Your attention, your reaction and your obedience is the only way you starve your doubt. And starving your doubt is the only way. So remember that doubt and faith both lies in the future, and it depends on you on what you choose.